4mm truss rod wrench. Yep. All right, we got a bit of rocking there. Some relief. There. A little bit of rocking still. Okay, we're good. Get a marker out just in case. Oh, that's not a marker. It's a paint pen. All right, so fret number 2 is high right off the bat. And because that one's high, there's a good chance that the number 3 is not going to be high, right? It's going to skip right over that one. So we usually just skip those frets and go to the next series of 3. This one is high as well. So this one is high as well. Not impressed, Sire. Not impressed. Jeepers. This one's high compared to that one. So you notice I don't check these 3 where I marked this one because this one's already high. It's not going to give me an accurate picture of what's going on with these 2. But from here, right, the previous ones weren't high. So I'll measure from there. And I'm getting some rocking now, all the way down. So I know that this fret is high right all the way there. All right. So this little section here is level there, but we're going to skip the rest. Holy moly. And now you know why the action was high on this thing. Right? Because had the action been low, we would have had fret buzz everywhere. All right, this one's high too. 11. Find the end. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to need to fret level this. So we have, number 2, number 4, number 6, number 7, 9, number 11, number 15. They all have high spots. These last 7 frets look pretty good. Over $1,000, man. I'm not super impressed with this. We'll try and tap them in a little bit just to see if we get different results. So I do have a neck support. And this one's right where the heel starts. See if our results are the same. Yep, still high. Yep. Oh, this one's good. This one helped. In case you're wondering, Jigaloo. A non-greasy lubricant. It's a good cleaner. All right, so that one's good. This one. This one's still high. This one is still high. Okay, so the end of this one. End of that one's good. This one is only high 3/4 of the way. And the last one was over here. And it's good, except right on the tip. There. Still got to do a full fret level just to make sure that they're all perfectly level. 10 radius. And these are not stainless steel frets, so 400 grit sandpaper is more than enough. Right, so I'm going to file down this fretboard until none of the marker is visible on the frets that I marked. And then I will check them again, and then I will mark them all one more time, give this one more pass, and then I'll do a fall away from the 12th to the 22nd fret. All right, all the markers gone. Okay, so almost level. Little tiny bit of clacking. Same here. A little bit on the end. That one's good. That one's still clacking quite a bit. This one is too. And this one's level. All right, so this one, this one. That one's good. That one's a little high. That one's still a little bit. Little bit. All right, let's do that again until those lines are off. the very end. This one's still high. Oh. This one's still high. Just got to use my little sanding beam. It's so quick and effective. There we go. There. Just so efficient. All right, these are all level, but going to mark all these. Sometimes your frets can be level, but they may not all have the same radius. You know what I mean? Like they could be lower on one side than the other. So when you use a radius beam like this, now assuming these beams are perfect, I don't know, right? You can just trust the machine that built them. Once you have no marker on these frets, they are all radiused at 10 degrees. So hope for the best. Here we go. See what I mean? They are all clear except right here. Look, there's 3 little low spots right there, and right there. You wouldn't know that though by checking with the fret rocker, but with this, you notice. So that's great. So these are all good, all uniform. I'll double check them with the fret rocker. But now I'm going to take fret 12 to 22, because I told you I wanted to make a fall away. What that means is, let's say this length is fret 1 to 11, and then this distance is fret 12 to 22. So what I'm doing is this. I'm just falling away the last 10 frets. And that allows to get the action a little lower at the 12th fret without having any buzzing up here as you're going towards the bridge. So I'm just going to still use the 10 radius block. And we're going to fall away these frets. And those low spots will get fixed automatically. So I'm going to use my hand to stop this radius block from going past the 12th fret. So I'm just going to put my hand over here. The meaty part of my thumb is kind of protecting that 11th fret. And there we go. As soon as that low spot, and that low spot, and that low spot's totally gone, but as soon as I can see metal, right? No more marker all the way through. Even though there's still a marker blotch, I can see the fret through the marker. I know I'm level. Now, final check for the level. Now we got perfectly level frets on the Sire, but they are not crowned and they are not polished. So that is next. I'm going to use my Music Nomad crowning file that also has a safe zone. So which means I can't take meat off the top. It just crowns it and leaves the top where it's at. So even when I'm done crowning, all these frets will still be level. Whereas if I use this thing, which is great for knocking down a high spot on a fret, this thing has teeth all inside here. So you really got to pay attention when you use a file like this, because you could potentially unlevel your nice level frets when using a file like this. I don't like guesswork. I like simple, quick, and effective. Most people would take a marker, mark all these frets, and they would crown until they see a nice little pencil line right across the fret. And that way they know they're not taking meat off the top because they can still see the pencil line. But with this, I don't have to do that because with this safe zone in there, it's not going to take any meat off the top. I don't have to worry about it. Let me keep crowning and I'll come back to you when I'm done. Okay, I got 2 frets left after this one and I marked them black. So I'll just show you the pencil line after I'm done. And from your angle, it probably looks like I'm just going across the fret, but I'm actually doing this. Like I'm following the radius. And every once in a while, you take a soft metal brush and you clean the inside of that file. Okay. See the pencil line all the way across there? And on the second fret, I don't know if that's coming out. Yeah, you see that. See that? A nice little perfect pencil line. It's uniform from one fret to the other. It's exactly the same. Now these frets don't have them because I didn't bother. So I don't have to worry about it with this file, right? So you can use whatever file you want. But for me, although these are expensive, it's like a no-brainer for this guy. And since I'm not a luthier and I'm not a professional, I like no-brainer stuff. I like tools that do the work for you so you do not have to second-guess yourself. And some of you who follow me regularly and who watch, most of my videos are like, but Jason, you saw all the unlevel frets that were on there and you didn't condition your fretboard before doing all the work. Now you could potentially mess everything up once you condition your fretboard if stuff starts to move. I'm not conditioning this fretboard. So I don't know if this shows up on video, but can you see how shiny the fretboard surface is? So although this is a roasted neck, they don't leave it open grain. They got poly all over the front of this. Now the back side, that's satin, right? You barely don't feel anything. But the front, the headstock, and the fretboard, that is super glossy. You can condition this all you want, but there's no conditioner that's going to penetrate this stuff. So up until this point, you do not have to tape your fretboard unless you don't trust yourself, but nothing comes in contact with your fretboard. Not the leveling, not the crowning. You don't have to worry about it. Now the polishing, that's a different story because you're using sandpapers and or different erasers or whatever it is that you're using. I'll show you what I'm using. So I'm definitely gonna, protect this fretboard. And the way I do it is like this. Ta-da! There you go. There is one fully taped and protected fretboard. I use these sanding pads. I've washed them once already and they're getting pretty wore. So this will be the last time and then I'll get a new set. So 400 is my first one. And then I go 500 to 600, 800 to 1,000, 1,200 to 1,500, 2,000. This is very monotonous. I'm not going to make you watch this whole thing. But the first thing I do, I'll take my 400 grit, fold it in half like this, and I just go up and down. So a lot of guys use this technique starting with 220 or 300 grit sandpaper, and they use this technique to actually crown the frets after they level. So like my buddy 2Bike Mike does it. He got that technique from a couple guys on YouTube that do it too. And I've tried it. I've tried it in the past. I don't get good results with that because I'll apply too much pressure in one spot, not enough at another, and I'll actually unlevel my frets as I do this. So the only reason I do this with a 400 grit is I'm not taking a whole lot of meat off with 400. I am rounding over the frets from both directions a little bit, so it's helping the crown, but I'm really just getting rid of the tool marks. I want to get rid of the tool marks before I start polishing. And polishing, I only go across the fret. I don't go up and down. Like, I bend strings across the frets. I don't bend strings up and down the frets. Why would I polish this way when I bend this way? So I always polish with the movement of the string on the neck. So once I barely see any tool marks doing that, then I take 4 or 5 frets at a time and I go across. And I'll usually do anywhere between 10 and 20 passes depending on how bad the tooling is on these frets. Move up to the next batch. Next one. So in my head, I'm counting to 10 slowly. I'm just going back and forth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like 10 seconds. Oops. There. So at this stage, this very first stage, you should have little to no tooling marks left on your fret. And then with the rest of them, you will strictly be polishing that fret. Some people will use fret erasers like this, and that's all fine and dandy. But if you've done a fret level and you've flattened out the top of your frets, and then you've crowned them, and you're not polishing them with this, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. I can still see a ton of tooling marks using these. These are good like to clean your frets. You know, if they're grimy, you can clean your frets, but you're not polishing them after fret level using this stuff. I haven't found any way to do it other than with hard work and different grits of sandpaper. So there's probably some fancy wheels you can buy that will do all the buffing for you, but buy a good one, it'd probably be a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm not really interested in that. All right, I just finished with the 500 grit, and I don't know if you guys will be able to even see that, but hopefully you can see that there are no tool marks. Now, are there sanding marks? Yes, that'll come off with the higher grit. But there are no scratches or tool marks on those frets now. So now I can relax a little bit, use a little less force, and just do this. Here we go. And now it's just more of the same. And some of you are probably like, man, that's a lot of work. Yep, it is. And that's why, I don't know about you guys, but around here, to get a fret level, crown, and polish done correctly, you're going to be paying somebody between 80 and 150 bucks to get that done. Hopefully, if you're lucky, that's cash, no tax. Yeah, it's a big job. So, I'd rather do it myself than to pay someone to do it and not be 100% happy with it. I'm not going to make you watch all this. I'll bring you back on when I'm on the last grade and then the final polishing. All right, just finished with the 2000 grit. Steel wool for the final polish. Now with the steel wool, I don't spend any particular amount of time on one fret. This usually is wide enough to cover 2 or 3 frets, and then I just keep moving up one, moving up one, moving up one, so the ones behind it are getting extra polishing. When I reach the top, I come back down, and then I come back up, and I come back down. I do that 4 times. Done. Voila. This neck is nice, the backside anyway. It's got a little bit of flame maple there, just on the bottom. Not so much through the top, but nice. All right, there you go. Check that out. See that? It's mirror finish frets.